After recording this video, in which I talk about an experience with a coworker, and I explain like these microaggressions I've been experiencing from this other black woman, and like sharing it with my dark skinned, unambiguously black friend who gave me some really great advice. I also talk about how white women, Hispanic women, Asian women, or I don't know if Latin is the more appropriate term, basically like African women, Caribbean women, it really doesn't matter the woman you're encountering. If you are attractive, then and you encounter a woman who's triggered by that, she don't have to be dark skinned and unambiguous to be a hater. And it just depends. Like I talk about that in this video too. So, but I left out some pertinent information about my coworker. I think it's very important to note that she's attractive. Like she's attractive. She's an attractive woman. She's older than me and she's darker than me, but she's undeniably attractive. Now, because she's Gen X and she's darker skinned, Gen X they ate up real toxic ideologies from the baby boomers from about colorism and featureism and texturism. So I think even though I'm looking at her through the lens of a millennial who has not been exposed to that type of hatred for dark skin in my formative years, and does not feel like, people are pretty because of their proximity to whiteness, like I can see her beauty clearly, but I don't want to negate the fact that she may not be able to. In addition to that, she has like a great career. She has, material things that people would want, but she's still a hater. But as I talk about the concept of punching down in this video, I just needed to make sure I also stated that this is someone who should be happy in life. She should be grateful and blessed. But, for whatever reason, this is why when you don't have a solid relationship with God and you don't have a solid sense of self, you can have everything and still be miserable. But now my video is about to begin, and I just wanted to give that disclaimer. Thanks for listening. Recently, I was talking to a friend and I was sharing with her some microaggressions that I was experiencing from work from another black woman. And again, I've said in many videos that when you occupy a certain space in terms of, I think it boils down to being attractive to men. If you're attractive to men and you're around male-centered women, they can see what those men see, and for the same reasons that the men will see you and like you without knowing you, they will see you and hate you or dislike you without knowing you. And so, that's where I am in my phase of life. That's the era that I'm in and have been in. And I'm only now old enough to see the pattern of having been in for all of my adult life, all of my adult working life. I've encountered women in the workspace who don't like me and I don't know them. And it's not because I haven't been pleasant or polite. It's just they're male-centered women and they literally like see exactly what men see, and they hate you for the same reasons that men will basically favor you. So I was sharing an experience with a friend of mine, and this is why I cannot ever ignore the fact that microaggressions for women who men find attractive, because I'm just going to start saying that the microaggressions those women experience aren't just from dark skinned, unambiguous black women. And I feel like Latin women, white women, African women who are not Black American, Caribbean women, just Asian women, you can experience a microaggression from any group of women, any group of women. And for me, it's just disingenuous to not acknowledge that. It's going to be concentrated based on who you're around. But if you happen to be in diverse spaces, you're going to get it from whoever. And as a golden brown girl, I have friends who are dark skinned, unambiguous Black women, 4C hair, and they may have other traits that don't make them fall in line with European standards of beauty, but they are beautiful and they are confident, and I know that they're not haters. And this is one of those situations because the friend that I was sharing what happened at work with is a darker skinned, richer toned, like mahogany toned Black woman. And she is so not a hater. She does not ever give me hater vibes. She has never given me hater vibes. And she gives me solid advice. And she's like, just, she don't even know this channel exists. But I could never come on here and like crap on Black women who are dark skinned and unambiguous because she exists. And I have other friends who fall into that same phenotype. And the only thing that's different, because I'm a Black girl with Black features and Black hair texture, I just happen to have a lighter, like a golden brown skin tone, which I do believe is part of what I'm experiencing at work right now, because just like my friend is amazing, and I can tell the truth about that, I can also tell the truth, unfortunately, that this experience I'm having is also with a darker skin, unambiguously Black woman. And but I could think about her, and then I could think about my former employer who was the exact same phenotype. Like these women they look like sisters, even down to like how jazzy their style is. And she was nothing but a cheerleader for me, nothing but an encourager and a mentor to me to this day. And I don't even work for her anymore. So I just really, this whole conversation has been an aside, but just out of respect for those women in my life and who I know exist in the world, I just I wish there was more conversation around the fact that attractive women will be attractive Black American women, Black women of or just any background, African, Caribbean, like if you're attractive to men, if they have decided you are attractive to them, there are women who are going to be triggered by that. And I just can never be the girl who just only isolates dark skin, unambiguously Black women as haters. Now, are some of them haters? Yes, but the same is true for white women and mixed women, and like I said, Latin, Asian. We can go down the list. So, with that being said, I explained what happened to my friend at work and like how I was trying to process it. Essentially, I entered a work environment where there's a long-standing employee who runs the office basically, but she's not there as often anymore because she took on a different role, and so she kind of moonlights there, but her presence is always felt. And when she comes in, a few of the things that she has said was that she felt she was being replaced. She felt that she was being pushed out. I happen to have her old office, so that's been a thing. And like, in terms of training, like there is a learning curve whenever you enter a new work environment. And at my job, a part of that learning curve has unfortunately resulted in a lot of trees, just paper, just having to be shredded. And it's just sad, but I hate wasting paper. Like, I hate it so bad. And this particular work environment, it's just not a thing that you can consider because although it is a paperless environment, when documents are printed, and there's a new employee, like I wasted a lot of paper, and that's one of the things she highlighted. I made an error that cost a few $1,000s, and like my employer was real cool about it. Like, I should have checked your work. Like, you just got here. Like, I should have checked behind you. I basically submitted a document that was the wrong one, and so he was cool about it. He had made his peace with it, and she came through and just like harped on it, and just went in on, you lost 4 grand, like over 4 grand. How did that happen? You know how it happened. I did it. You know this. Why are you acting brand new? You knew this before you arrived. But I'm just telling you these things. And so like after that, like for a few days, he was quite perturbed about it. And I just saw like her shift his energy. And so anyways, long story short, I was explaining her most recent, well, it's not even recent. She's done more things since then. But one day she was talking, and she's very loud. And she was like, you always hiring strays. And I heard her. And I'm just like, that's plural. Who are you talking about, ma'am? And I was just telling my homegirl about it. And she was just giving me advice or whatever. But the one thing about me, if something upsets me in real time and I don't address it with the person in real time, which I didn't address it with her. I heard her, I left. I called my mother in a passive aggressive way and told her about it as I walked out the office. But I didn't address it with her. And that's a part of like my development process. But at the same time, it's like, I'll come back to this part. But essentially, she indirectly referred to me as a stray. And this is not like one of those videos where I'm about to like go down my resume, but professionally, I am not a stray. What I am is new to this environment, and I'm still like learning. And so it was just a very rude statement to make. And I am, first and foremost, I am like a Christian. I have a strong Christian identity. And I know like this space doesn't always, I don't think this space is very pro biblical principles or Christian values. And I think it's because they're looking at people instead of doctrine. If you're looking at the way people do Christianity, you're always going to be upset because the vast majority of people who claim to be Christian are not kind and they don't live by Bible principles. So that's just another conversation. But for me and my house, I am someone who adheres to Bible principles. And unfortunately or fortunately, however you feel when I say this, I cannot escape this whole concept of how Christ endured a lot on earth. And he did say, like, as his followers, you're going to endure a lot and try to turn the other cheek. So I came to that resolution when dealing with her that I had decided, and I was just telling my friend how I decided that I wasn't going to address it, that I was going to look past it. I was going to decide that she didn't say it to me directly, so I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she was actually talking about previous employees who are no longer there, which in itself, just the fact that you talk about people like that says a lot about you. Because what does it benefit you to talk about past employees and refer to them as strays? Like it reeks of drama, it reeks of messiness, and I'm just not gonna spend my life trashing other women, and other people in general. I'm just not gonna do it. And just the fact that that's like, what have you accomplished? My question for like people like her is like, if we roll down your resume, or we like if we asked you to do a simple task like write an essay that maybe like someone in high school or middle school who has like a quality education can run through grammatically and structurally and just really be able to articulate themselves well. Like there are some middle schoolers and some high schoolers who have writing skills and communication skills that are more effective. And so as I was deciding how to deal with this particular coworker, I factored in the fact that you only do people like she does when you are dealing with insecurities. Because confident people, people who are very learned, well read, etc., they don't necessarily want to make others feel dumb. They take no pride. I may have just said etc. incorrectly. I heard somebody actually critique another person's commentary and say, "You said it etc. incorrectly," and like, I, it's just for me. Like, do I want to show up as my best self? Yes. Do I want to produce great work product? Absolutely. Do I feel like I'm in competition with other people? I am so blessed that I do not. Like, I definitely don't enter spaces feeling like I'm in competition with people who are there. But, anyways, when I told my friend that I had decided that I was just gonna pretend, like, just move past that, pretend it didn't happen, she couldn't believe it. She was just like, that makes no sense. You need to get her. You need to address this because she's going to keep trying to play you. And she wasn't wrong in that the woman did continue to try to play me. But in that moment, my reasoning was that she's insecure. She's in a way to be pitied. She's shown her hand by how aggressively she tries to put down me and other women. And I'm punching down. Like, it's punching down to meet her where she is. And it's lowering like my own way of moving about in the world. Like, I cannot base my behavior on the poor behavior and low self-esteem of other women. I can't do that. Now, can I get them up out my space and like let my body language and my just overall demeanor say like it's enough? Absolutely. And I know how to do that. But at this point in time, I was still in a very much like, take one. I'm not necessarily trying to take one for the team, but I do like having a positive work atmosphere and I do my part. So I looked past it. And in that particular instance, but it was just my friend who is a dark skinned, unambiguous Black woman clocking all of the reasons why this woman is mad and then encouraging me like to well her advice was it doesn't matter that she has low self-esteem. It doesn't matter that she feels insecure about her resume and her background and None of that matters, she said. All that matters is that you don't deserve to be treated like this by her, and you should nip it in the bud immediately. And again, she wasn't wrong. But I am able to extend grace to that woman because I just feel better about myself than she does. Like I'm starting out ahead because I just know that because of how she behaves. And it's crazy because, again, she's a very male centered woman. She's absolutely in love with our employer and mask it as like friendship, but whatever. I clocked that right away. But all of that to say, I feel like when you have certain, I don't know, if your self-esteem is set up in a certain way, you just don't ever want to punch down. I don't. Like, I can get you up off of me without demeaning you in the process. You can just, you'll know that it's over. You'll know, like, henceforth, we ain't had nothing to say unless it's about this work. And I do know how to put that on, but yeah, like I said a lot. Whatever resonates, I hope you chew the meat, spit out the bones, whatever resonates. I hope that it does you well. If you have, any thoughts or questions based on like my perspective, feel free to drop them below. Yeah, like, are you okay with punching down when you already winning? I don't know. I'm not. It's not for me. Thanks for listening.